What up, everybody? You already know Sly K Loco here with another episode of CannaConvos with Growshack Kev, baby. Bow, 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 bow. How you doing,
What's
Dougie?
up, CannaConvos? What's up, y'all? Happy growing.
Yeah, how's your day going, brother?
Oh man, it's a beautiful day. You know, I mean, every day is beautiful for me, man. I live a life definitely rooted in gratitude, man. First thing I do in the morning, if I can, to be honest, just because I know me and I know how easy I'm gonna get thrown off key, I try to remember just 3 to 5 things, man, every morning before I even get the crust out my eyes. You know, when I'm laying there, what am I grateful for this moment? You know what I mean? Try to deter anything from taking my day, even in the direction of somewhere I got to try to change it. So
Good. That's a good habit, man.
how about yourself? How your weekend been going?
Man, my week has been all right. It's been a little stressful, but you know, you gotta keep on moving, gotta keep on grooving, you gotta keep on doing what you're doing, right? Shit, man. So for those who don't know out there,
you know what I mean?
Right? For those all out there who don't know, Growshack Kev is a grower on Instagram, Facebook, and I think that's all I've seen you on, and YouTube, right? You do have a YouTube page?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, bitchin', man. He is a badass grower. Love your technique of growing, doggy. You train like crazy. Your plants are fucking very trained. And but let's start off with the first question that I always ask everybody on here is, how did you come up with your name?
Oh man, okay, that's a new one. The Growshack Kev just came about back in May.
Okay.
And to be honest, I took a little hiatus from growing for about the last 3 years. I haven't grown not as much as a plant, and it's drove me crazy. I didn't act at all kinds of foods, and it just getting back into this growing, man. It's really got me where I'm at. But the Growshack Kev came from. I had told my woman, I said, man, I got to get back to growing. You know what I mean? Growing is keeping me in tune with myself. I know who I am better. I know I'm not going to stray for no other opinion or forced pressure when I'm more in tune with things that I love, doing what I love. And since growing is one of the things I love, she buds. Cause see, I'm in a prohibition state, bro.
Really?
I'm still against the grain here. Which I mean, I know I catch a lot of flack because I am kind of open with it because I do speak on it. But I feel like, you know, if I don't, nobody is going to. Everybody can talk and ask about it around, you know, election time. But if it's not a face like me to show and say, look, this is a type of persecution for me. This is a form of bondage for people that love what I love and do what I do. And especially considering 3/4 of the country, you know, is behind it and already legal. And
yeah, man. Yes, and that's what crazy. Like you're starting off something that a bunch of people have been wanting to do, and it's just a matter of time before your state before it's federally legal, and then everybody's gonna be able to grow, and then everybody on your state is gonna be behind a little bit because they fucking followed all the rules and shit. Fuck that, dog. You're doing the right thing. I fucking support you. I think because you're actually getting ahead of the curve, you know.
And that's what I'm trying to do. I know it in a lot of ways it may seem like it may turn a lot of heads like, you know, what's this dude doing? You know what I mean? He because I mean where I'm at, it literally is if you get caught with a joint here, you going to jail. It's not a ticket or an option. It's not decriminalized. Nothing. You gonna go. So it's ridiculous here, man. Yeah, I'm in Indiana. I'm in Indiana. They don't play here. The main thing for me is, like I said, I feel like if it's not for folks that like me, ain't nobody gonna have any kind of knowledge or understanding of what it is folks like us going through. There ain't no knowledge about what somebody going through. There's no need to change. Yeah. So I'm an advocate for change here, 100%. I know I slid off that question. The Growshack Kev, man, I was like me and my girl. I done got rid of my tents and everything. It done been 3 years since I've grown, and I just needed to do it again. So I talked to my girl. We decided on it. You know, I built this I just built this little box, man. It was like a 3x3 box out of just some wood that was sitting out in the shed. You know what I mean? I mean, something rickety. I mean, and it looked like them little shacks like you see in them old like Western types where to be leaning a little bit in the roof. Well, I mean, that's what it looked like. So I was like, man, look at them growing in a little shack. It's a Growshack right there. And then my wife, she looked at me, she said, Growshack Kev. She said, you hit. She said, you Growshack Kev for the rest. So I just been riding with it ever since, man. And it rolled off the tongue decent, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, it's a really good name. I really like it. I haven't heard anybody call it the Growshack before, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, doggy. If you ain't got a tent, you're gonna make a fucking tent, right? Or make a box. So how long have you been growing for?
Just like I started growing back in 2003.
Oh shit!
Now seriously growing. Now that when I say 2003, that's me going off out down by the river bottoms or somewhere like that. You know, I'm finding a place to basically just toss some seeds and really not come back. Just hope for the best. I didn't know a damn thing about growing. You know, I think I may have took a little Miracle Grow fertilizer out there like one time, like I was happy to do that. You know, I took the plant, you know what I'm saying? But just naivety and the lack of knowledge back then. But seriously growing when I decided, you know what, if I'm gonna do this, I want the best possible buds, I want the best possible harvest, and I want it to taste better than anything I'm gonna go get. And if I can't find something that's gonna get me where I want to be, then I need to do it myself.
Yeah. That's facts, and
So
that's what
that
a lot of people. That's how a lot of people started, man. Is they're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it myself, right?
And that's probably 2013 when I decided I committed to it, and I was like, you know what, I made a promise to myself. I'm never gonna buy no bag again. That's basically what I said. I'm never gonna have to. I'm not buying no bag again. You know what I mean? I want to go to the back room, you know, and get in my little jars. And that's what it's gonna be, and that's how I've kept it ever since. Fortunately, except for the one short little hiatus I took. But it's a wonderful thing, man. And you know the being in prohibition area, man, it's still got a lot of the old street type vibe to it. You know what I mean? Because if I was to run, if I don't have something, I do got to hit somebody, you know, and slide on wherever it may be, and everybody know how them arrangements is. No matter how cool you are with the person, it's an awkward situation, especially with the police the way they are around here. Yeah. But I do feel fortunate though, in a way, to be able to have understood and to know what it's like for it to be like this for the illegal areas, because some people will never know nothing but a dispo and go and buy it, and you know it's no stigma to it, and won't have to worry about
like bro, I haven't, like, I remember those days when I was coming up. It was like just before fucking the legalization, so I remember the fucking days. Nowadays, what you guys got to deal with is in the underground system is these motherfuckers are spraying fentanyl on this shit, huh? Like, what the fuck? Man. Anybody who sprays fentanyl on some weed, that's it, dog. You got to spray some place in hell for them motherfuckers. Like, them motherfuckers, like, for real, like, that's not fucking cool, dude. Why would you do that?
And I never understood it anyways. I mean, that's one thing about the game I'll never get, man. It's nothing wrong with what's going on. The products in the game is just fine. You know what I mean? If motherfuckers is doing it, you know, and people, that's like the flour. They'll take that low quality flour, you know, that they know ain't gonna sell. They're gonna wash that and put it into a, you know, a distillate or something, but it's garbage. You know what I mean? It's like, but the problem is, I don't have a problem with them doing that. My problem is when the way they labeling this, like it's just top shelf, you know, cream of the crop. Because everywhere you go, you see, oh, this the best here, the best. But we know, you know, in reality, it's not. It's just a terrible thing to see the way a lot of people was going with it, and a lot of it is the market, you know, because the market is down so much. They ain't getting 4,000 a pound, you know, 2,300, 3,000 for it no more. So when you got apes going out the door,
2,300 for a pound, shit, bro. Like, god damn, these prices over here are fucking way lower than that, man. I couldn't even get rid of a pound for 16 anymore. Shit.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the prices is down more than ever, and the thing about it is the folks that's growing the quality that's worth getting, they putting just as much time into it, just as much money, just as much resources as going into if they were getting that much. So a lot of the growers, you know, a lot of people that on big levels, large scale levels, they're not going to put the time into it. It's not going to be the care. So you're going to see a decline in quality, raw off the gate, just because of the fact that it's an underappreciated market for growers.
Yeah, definitely in those places where you're at in the prohibition places, because over here, like, there's a little bit more of a quality standard around here because everybody knows what booth is. Now everybody fucking knows booth, and we know top quality stuff too. So like, I mean, you can get booth here. There's $50 ounces, sure, but like most people ain't gonna touch that shit because we know now with how much knowledge is out here and how much it's spread. Because over here where I'm at, I'm in Washington. And Washington State. So over here, it's just straight dispensaries everywhere, bro. Man, and you can grow your own. Like I medically, I could have 15 plants. I think I don't know how much just like recreational plants you could grow, but I know that like in Oregon, you can have 15 plants. Everybody can have 15 plants. So when you got all these people growing like that, the margin for booth is very small because everybody's growing fire. If there's fire everywhere, you got fucking booth down here, and ain't nobody gonna want that shit. And like you said, they do put it in distillates and all this other shit. One thing that they tend to do over here is we got pre-rolls, and so over here they will stuff a little bit of fucking cut into pre-rolls. And when I say cut, I mean the trim and shit, and you can smell it. Once you smell the fucking joint, you're like,
got that green. That grainy, it's got like a grainy smell, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got that spicy smell to it, a little like the old school. It's trim, man. It's fucking trim that they put in joints. I don't know where it came from. I think that's a factor from the tobacco companies getting into the business, because that's what they would do in tobacco. Is they would take a little bit of the older tobacco and they would put it in a little bit into newer cigarettes. And that's basically the same fucking thing that they're doing nowadays, man. That shit is crazy. I don't want to say, I don't respect that move, but it's business. And in business, they're going to do what they got to do to make money, dog. And once it becomes like over there where you're at, once it becomes legal, hopefully you guys will learn from our mistakes, because you guys will have a fresh start to this legalization, right? So hopefully they won't tax the shit out of all the growers. Hopefully they won't be cutting their pre-rolls. Hopefully you'll be able to smell your weed before you buy it, like it's starting like in Oregon. That's how it is in Oregon. You can go to a dispensary and they got these big ass jars of bud, and they'll open it for you and let you smell it, and then you can decide if you want it. Plus they sell clones there, so you can be like, oh, you smell this, and like, oh, that's that clone. Well, I want that, bro. Have you never been to Oregon?
No, I have not. That's somewhere I'm strongly considering moving. I am moving for sure, but I'm just not sure where. I'm not sure if I want to go out west or if I want to stay a little closer, because I got Illinois. I'm 30 minutes away from 3 states from where I'm at. So I'm surrounded by legal states every side. Illinois is rec and medical. Kentucky is medical now. They just, they haven't got they shops open, but they medical. Ohio is, they doing their thing. Michigan up north. So it's everywhere around us. But in order for me to do what I want to do on the scale that I'm trying to do it at, I can't risk it. I can't have the extra headache on my plate on top of everything else of worrying about that.
My suggestion would be to take it to like Colorado or Michigan, or one of the states right next to you, because now that business side of it is starting to open up, I think you'd be able to slide right in. It'd be better. But one thing I wanted to ask you was, what is the problem with your state? Why are they waiting so long?
Man, it don't make no sense. We've had it on, like you do local, you have your local elections and like where you do for your city, well, probably for the last 10 years, man, it's been on, they put it on election ballots. It's just a questionnaire, you know what I mean? Do you support the legalization of medical, if medical and recreational marijuana? And I do know for a fact that the numbers from that over the last 5 years is we have over an 83% approval rating in the state from the people that vote, from the voters of the state of Indiana. Over 83% approved for medical and like 75 for recreational. But it's not getting anybody moving on it. Our governor, he said it won't happen. We said he absolutely wouldn't do it no way, shape, or form unless it was done on a federal level, which even if it's done on a federal level, I believe it's going to be, still left to state, even as it is now. Because, Cali and Colorado, all these places that been doing this, that grandfather this, that are the old heads states that's legalized, they not going to let nobody come in and tell them how they need to referee and handle their business when, nobody wanted their hands in it before.
Yeah.
Now,
Government-wise,
I do think once they get the banking issues going, once they get it, because they want cannabis money. Loco, They want cannabis money. No matter what they say, whether they hate it, they could despise it, hate you for smoking. They want the money that their cannabis bring.
So
they're going to work out this banking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know somebody's getting that money and that interest going in somebody's pocket that ain't touching none of theirs. And so that's why I say I do believe they'll figure something out fast on this banking issue. And once they do that, that's probably going to be hand in hand with the legalization. But I don't know what's wrong with our state. I know this part of the country they refer to as the Bible Belt sometimes, which
there it is. There it is. That's it.
It's
right
just
there.
heavy Midwest Southern Baptist folks around here, man, and like it just.
Well, the thing is, brother, they've been brainwashed for a long time, and for sure. This brainwashing that happened told these people that they can't, they can have the one crutch to help with stress, and that is alcohol, right? And alcohol just makes everything worse. So, it didn't work. It didn't work. Even people over here that are very religious, even they'll partake in cannabis, but they won't tell anybody. But they'll get a little bit before bed, a little edible or something like that so that they can get some fucking rest, and be able to sleep. Motherfucker, it takes a minute for these people to change their mind. But once it's changed, brother, man, you got people that be coming over here to the West Side just to smoke weed, to say that they were able to smoke weed legally, before they died, because they never thought it would happen and shit, But the times are changing, brother.
Right.
The times are changing. And as soon as the banks, like you said, the banks, I've always said this. I've always said, as soon as the banks can get in this shit, that's when the money's going to start rolling. Because like you said, the fucking interest, the pockets, all this money is just going to be touching hands and growing. Now, I do feel like down the road that might kill the product because, greed, too much greed. Because over there, like, let's say, for instance, California, right? They tax the shit out of every grower to where only big time growers can get in. The taxes are like almost 50% tax, which is fucking crazy. So I think it's Oklahoma I think it's Oklahoma. They're their whole motto is "We are not California." So come to us because they're giving all the bud growers tax breaks. Fucking just making it to where they want. Yes, they want all that revenue. They want it over here. They're like, here, bring it to us. We'll keep everything cheap to where you guys can grow and put that money, because that money's going back into the economy, man. They don't need a tax like that. It's going back into the economy.
Exactly. And that's and really they smart for that, because look how wide open Oklahoma is. There's a lot of open spaces out there that's not occupied, and the way they lobbying like that, if they pushing and if they can, if they do something like that to where they're head and shoulders above the competition in other states, it will be a rush to get there.
Oh, it is. It's happening right now.
Another thing people really don't take into account, and they don't understand about the struggles of I know people knock commercial growers a lot, but man, these people that are the commercial cultivators, these people don't, like a regular business. If me and you open a dry cleaning business tomorrow, we can write off our electric bill at the end of that month. At the end of the year, you can write off different things that are applied to your business. Cannabis not so. They don't recognize that. Now, do they still pay a tax on their business tax healthily? They're getting whacked way worse than anybody. It's honestly 100% extortion, if you ask me. Is a form of extortion, because they squeezing you. They telling you, yeah, you can do this. That's your game, but do it this way. Do it here. Oh, hold on. Now everybody else can use that. We're gonna use something like them. That's what they treating cannabis as far as business. It's something like a business. Because if you remember, it's just been a few years ago you was hearing about the shops getting robbed left and right, losing big chunks of cash because these places was keeping big cash on hand.
Yeah, because they had to, because it wasn't federally legal.
Right.
So you can, or not federally, legal, so that the banks would be able to touch it. So now you got all these places with fucking cash money on them, which is never good, man. You know, you don't want to just keep a bunch of fucking cash money. So, you know, and that's kind of, it's their fault that all that crime's happening. Shit, if they would just let the banks get into it, then over here in Washington, like, there's something changing right now to where they're like, they run it as an ATM transaction. So you can use your debit card, right? And you can just get the, say it's $27, you'd get $3 back out of the $30. So it's creeping. It's creeping in there. It's almost happening.
It's a slow process.
Slow process, baby. That's how everything is here in the United States. Everything is a slow ass process, man. It took us forever to get to this point where we're at, but I feel like once everything starts to go, I think it'll be better. Sorry, brother, my headphones.
Yeah, once it starts rolling, once the ball starts rolling, I'm sure it'll pick up real quick, and it's not gonna stop until it's taking the whole country by storm. If you want the truth. The whole country will be on the bandwagon, and I thought a lot about the same thing too, because I thought, you know what, let me slide some money back, let me tough it out here. I know it's still illegal. I know this prohibition shit is ugly. I hate it, but if I can be here and have something going, and be, you know, put myself out there enough, when the moment did hit, it would put me in a decent position, because you know they have that law where when you're applying for a license, it's a social equity license, but basically stating that a lot of the states have started doing this because they was turning people down, and it was also a move to be able to include more African American owners in the cannabis industry. And I believe it was Massachusetts and Illinois adapted the law where 51% of every new license that comes out now, so over half has to go to someone whoever that has applied. It has to be someone that has been affected by the war on drugs, lived in an area of poverty, and things like that. So they did start doing that. They was turning people down for having a weed, conviction before, which made no sense.
So, how the fuck are you gonna do that? You're gonna give the license to somebody who's been affected by the weed game, but then be like, nah, you can't have it because you've been affected by the weed game.
I know a man that he had a felony possession of marijuana. It was like a pound from like 1994, and he was applying for it was a commercial license over in Illinois. It was $5,000, I believe, each time just to apply for the license. And it was 3 times before he was able to even get approved. It was his 3rd time after the social equity deals came up that he got. So he had 15 grand invested in a license that, you know, for 5,000 they may or may not give you one, you know.
Yeah, so right then he's already 15 grand in the hole before he even starts his business.
Hole out of the gate.
He didn't. These are the things. Those are the things that they need to fucking work out, because they can't. That's not good for business. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all, dog. There's no fucking way. And if they want people to I think they're doing that kind of shit because they want the big businesses, the Budweisers, the Philip Morrises.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And we will see it. We'll see it. There will be which I think is going to be an even further decline in the legal market, is when those companies get involved. You know, when we got Marlboro or Newport, you know, or Camel pre-rolls out here, it's going to get ugly for everybody, because the reason it will, I believe, is because those companies is going to try to shut out home growers, because they know they're not going to be able to touch what home growers can produce not on a large scale level. They won't be able to scale up the quality that a good home grower can produce. So
for those out there who don't know, that most of the time what happens is when you do a bigger grow, the quality of the bud comes down. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but there's like an equation. I think it's because you can't give the individual plant, the best love that it takes. Because those small time growers, we come out with fucking dank shit. And so what I think it's going to be is like, I said this before, that I think it's going to be like like IPAs and home brews or the small brew that comes out really fucking good, and then you got the Budweiser shit at the store that's kind of goofy. You know what I mean?
Like small craft brews, like select brews. Yeah, got you.
There you go. Yeah, that's what
man,
I think.
The cannabis plant, man. I owe my life to this plant, and I mean, I literally owe my life to my existence today. I wouldn't be if it wasn't for this plant. For me discovering it, for my mother and my father, man, through them, you know, I was introduced to it. First time I smoked, I was like 13 years old. You know what I mean? I found like a little piece of something like in the ashtray, came home. Cause you know, when we was younger, we didn't have to stay all in the crib, and we walked ourselves to school, walked home. We had keys to the crib when we was little, like keep your ass in the crib, but it better not come out till I get off work. Nope. Don't answer the door type. You know what I mean? We could cook and take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But so during that time, I kind of discovered all this through my mama had multiple sclerosis. And
okay.
If anybody's familiar with that, it affects your nerve endings, and your body attacks your nerve endings. It feels like fire, like burning through your nerve, and then throughout your body.
My little sister has it worse. She has lesions on her brain, and so it will make her just not be able to talk. She'll sit there like one of her worst relapses. They call it relapses for those who don't know.
She has remissive.
Remissive, yeah. No, so it's still happening. It's still happening. But so for those who don't know, March is MS awareness month. So on March, I'm going to be having some people with MS on, and we're going to be spreading the word about that, because it is the silent disease. Nobody ever really knows that a person has MS until symptoms come out or they're told that they have MS. I hope your mom doesn't have those kind of symptoms yet, does she?
It was recessive recurring. So it would basically, it was one of them diseases that, because there's several forms of it, and the type she had would show itself really bad for a while and almost have no signs for 2 or 3 months, but then for 6 months signs, and it just went back. I lost my mother last September.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
It was a horrible thing, man. I'm still working through that one. That's something that I preach to everybody now, regardless of how much time I spent with her and spoke to her. We was on great terms, but still, to have that one more moment would be amazing. Just because of, like I said, what I learned from which is why I wanted to start growing serious was with my mother's MS, because she found that the pain pills, the lower tabs, the morphine that they're trying to give her, it was declining her quality of life. It wasn't just trying to take her pain away. It was taking her life from her. Where she was
it's heroin, dude.
To them.
It's fucking heroin.
She was a slave to it.
So what happens is, because I've been hooked on those pills, and I know that what they be giving the MS patients for fucking pain is just more opiates, right? And what opiates do, for all those out there who don't know, is it'll make your nerves even more sensitive. So when you poke right now, it doesn't hurt, but if you were taking a bunch of pills, you hit that shit, you're gonna be like, it makes you hurt more. And so it ends up, it's killing you and making you worse. That's supposed to be helping you, which is fucking stupid, brother. And while we have medicine right here, like the cannabis plant, that can help with MS and make the pain manageable and would not fucking kill her anyway like that. Let's just say that after all the research came out that there was something bad about cannabis, all right? Let's just say that something came out. It would never be anything towards the way that opiates have or alcohol has, like all these other fucking things. So I just feel like we need to help the MS. Lots of illnesses that cannabis could be helping with, man, and we need to change that shit. I'm so sorry to hear about your mother, bro. I want to say, rest in heaven for her. I was just, just imagine, just think of it like this: she's not in pain anymore. So,
and that's a fact. And it, as crazy as it may sound, cannabis was, man, it was something that me and my mama, we had a bond with each other outside of just a mother and a son type bond. We had a friendship type of bond too that we really didn't discover except had it been for cannabis. We discovered that part of each of us, you know, that we connected on a different level. And if it wasn't for this plant, you know, I wouldn't have had that either. So that's when I really got serious and thought, you know what, I want to grow the best medicine I can for my mother, and just see exactly what it is. You know, I can play with little things. What can we do to help people? Because, and get the word out, the message alone, because so many people is trapped with only on so many different medications, man, that, like you said, it ain't doing nothing but dulling something for the moment just to make everything worse later.
yes,
So you just putting a band-aid over something that don't stop none of the issue, you know what I mean?
it doesn't,
So
man.
I hit
That's
so many rough points in my life, man, that like I said, if not for growing, I'm not coming out of. Like your story, man, your story hit home for me hard, man, because
thanks, man.
I started using meth and pills and drinking heavy from the I moved out of my mom and daddy's house when I was 13 years old. I
Yep.
was a little knucklehead, I was hard-headed, and the shit I was doing and the way I was acting, nobody should have dealt with. So my daddy did. He said, okay, you want to be this and that, get your ass on and you do it. Do that then. I knew the wrong people, but the right people too, I guess. Because the only people I had to go to was the people in the streets I knew.
Yep.
So I had a dude, he got me a crib. He got me, rented me an apartment. He said, man, the rent's paid for 3 months. He gave me a little brick of some cocaine and some weed and said, look, just bring me enough back to pay for your own next time and pay your own damn rent. You know what I mean? And that led me down just a whole crazy road that, once again, I got to go to Kevin for leading me out of, because a man that was growing, you know, just answering questions here and there for people, that just knowledge that I had accumulated from growing, from other growers, from just from different people my parents passed down and from them growing. I started really taking joy in being able to answer those questions, being able to help somebody that was having an issue with one of their plants.
Yeah.
It's a way for me to express myself, and also show that it's plenty of sides to me, you know, besides just the knucklehead version that I've been painting for so long.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to say is, like, people like us who come out, like, I was kicked out at 13 too. So I went to the streets and I had to figure out, I was selling meth and selling coke and all this shit at 13 years old. I was getting that money, which nowadays I kind of look at it like, fuck, man, you see a little 13-year-old hooking you up with a sack. Like, you got to be like, damn, man, my life is fucked up, eh? I'm coming to a little kid to get a sack. I know I would be tripping if I was this age going to a little fucking little G and he's hooking me up with coke. I'd be like, what the fuck? But anyways, one thing that shit does is it makes us angry for the situation that we're at. And so, you know, that anger leads to drugs. And then later you become sober and now you get to look at that and be like, yo, man, I went through some shit. But for me, it feels like I'm a better person for it because I have actually been there. I've done this shit to where OGs be talking about all this shit that they did when they were older. And I'm like, man, I've been there, done that, dog. Been there, done that. Hey, I'm trying to get past all this shit and move on. Now I'm done with the drugs. I'm assuming you are too, which is fucking congratulations on you, brother.
Yes,
congratulations. Yes, if nobody says it, remember to congratulate yourself, man, because this is some hard shit to get off.
Fact.
There's some people who don't get on the other side. You know, there's some people out there who fucking are still in the meth game.
Oh yeah, believe it. It's people out here tonight, right now, that's just walking. Don't know what they gonna do. Don't know what they gonna, where they sleeping, what they gonna put on, when they gonna get some water on their ass next. But probably
they know they
is walking and know where to get that bag. They know where to get that bag though, you know. And but I know what that's like, man. I've been there.
One thing I wanted to say. Hold on. One thing I wanted to say, what I was gonna say, is it takes a lot of brains to be a dopehead, man. And then you know what? Like you could totally put that shit towards something good. And that's why when I see people who have recovered and are starting to make their get their life better, it's like, bro, you're not gonna hold that person down. That person knows how to get what the fuck they want. So that's like fucking bro, like like keep an eye on us, because us drug users, ex-druggies, we gonna rule this motherfucker. We gonna rule this.
I promise the level of determination, man, and just the by any means necessary type of drive that we have. Yeah, and I mean, because habit is formed over a period of time repetitively, we have been going hard in one way or another for a long time. So when you train yourself like that, when you're that type of person, that becomes instilled in you, and it transfers over into other aspects of your life, man, whether it be growing, whether it be loving. Because I love the same way as I went crazy in the streets, bro. I love hard. You know what I mean? If I love you, I love you. If I know you, if you just a friend, I go to war for you. You know what I mean? I'll face an army for you today. You know what I mean? Knowing death is there, I'm just gonna go in like that, because I feel like holding little pieces of me from that reminds me that drugs never made me. You know what I mean? Exactly. It just definitely bent me, and it bruised me into a point. You may not have recognized me. It may have made me look the way I did and sound the way I did. But when you see the real me, you know what I mean? When people actually get a chance to everything that I enjoyed, anything I had a passion for, anything that fueled me and drove me every day to walk past and be like, you know what, I like this. This is a part of my life. This is a part of me. Let me do my all and put everything I can into it. And drugs stripped me of all that, man. So to where I had nothing left really but my own bad attitude and a whole bunch of regrets. So I ran into a friend of mine, man, and why he decided he would pick me up, put me in his vehicle, and come and even speak to me the way he did is beyond me, and I'll never be able to show him enough gratitude for it.
That's but God,
he took me out.
That was God, and he spoke
to me. Yeah, it was, because I hadn't seen this man in probably 5 or 10 years, and last terms that we had been on, I wasn't nowhere near treating that man in a way that the next time he see me, picking me up and talking to me and taking me somewhere to speak to me on some heart-to-heart shit. But he did, and he happened to take me to his garage and show me his grow. He just had like 3 plants out in there under an old, 600 watt HPS light, and
ooh, old school.
He said, man, why don't you grow no more? And then my heart lit up when he said it. You know what I mean? Just thinking about growing again, but I had no answer for him. So that at that moment, that's when I knew. I was like, you know what? Drugs is they just directed my life in every way. And I decided to I was gonna get me some equipment together, no matter what I had to do, and I was gonna start growing again. And I was gonna get through the DTs. I was gonna go through all the feeling bad, and I was gonna do it looking at my plants. And as weird as it sounds, man, I remember being so sick, and I would go sit at the edge of my tent or at the edge of the closet I was growing in, man, and just sit there and just talk myself through it in a manner, just like, you ain't got to break on this, you know what I mean? Get through this. This the last hour you doing it. The last hour you doing this. And before I knew it, I was smiling again, you know what I mean? I woke up and I guess an epiphany would be the right word, man. Just a sudden moment of clarity had hit. And I thought in my mind, I didn't know how to love no more. I didn't know how to care for nothing. And something in the back of my head was like, look at them plants that you growing right there. Like, look at what you do with them. You know how to care for something. You know how to nurture something and to be there for something in a way that's gonna show its appreciation to you and be the best it can, be for its area in whatever environment we in. So that's what lifted me back up, man. And I just feel like I owe so much to the community, the people for being out here, because I ain't never been on social media in my life until just like I said, like May of this year. I started
me either.
putting some stuff out there.
It was a couple of years ago, but yeah, me too.
I had to start putting something out, man. I seen all this going out, and it's too good not to share. You know what I mean? From the whether it's like I love seeing it from the smallest seedling, you know, to the Mendo dope boys, you know, them 15, 16 foot trees they got out there, man.
Yeah.
But it just all has connected me with a group of people and got me back in touch with myself than I've ever been in my life. The patience, it's taught me patience, to sit back and to learn how to truly understand life. It's a plant analogy to me, man. Because if you treat your plants, if you put the right things into it, you know what I mean? You start with a good foundation, you're gonna get decent results, if not excellent results. You know, life is we grow throughout our whole life. So in the process of me growing these plants, I'm trying to grow alongside of them with some good people that see what I see in this community and don't see the stigma like you was talking about earlier, the brainwashing that's went on for so long.
Right.
Like I remember a commercial back in the day when somebody was at a drive-through and you see them, they was smoking some weed and they run a child over on a bike or something. I was like, man, you for real? Like, they kill me with that, man. When it's a wonderful thing, a plant that's been around longer, they say longer than, well, way longer than history itself is known. So, and it's not that people are going back to cannabis as an alternative medicine, because it is the original medicine. You know what I mean? Before it was synthetic and manufactured drugs to treat you, it was nothing but herbalists and shamans and things like that. You know, for their people, they took care of them with herbs, things from the land. So I just think it's a great reflection on one's personality. You can tell a lot about who somebody is when you see their growth.
Yeah.
You really can.
You can.
It speaks to them. Just like just like in pictures of your growth, it's almost like looking at a picture of your energy, if that makes sense. Your vibe, your personality, man. Because that's what in everybody's different growth. It's kind of like what I see. And then when I get to see these people, man, or hear them speak, or they do some content, and I'm like, oh, you know what? That's crazy, because that's what I seen. That's the vibe that they was giving off. So I just think it's too much to ignore, man. The plant's too wonderful, and it's too good of people that are associated with it to separate ourselves, and for me to be quiet about it, regardless of what local ordinances
laws and shit say. Yeah, right. Man, I see where you're coming from, man. That shit is absolutely true. Like, because you you got some people, you know, who don't take it too seriously. They're just growing. They got, you know, their plants out there, and you got some people like me who are gonna fucking go all in and shit. When we fall in love with something, we go pretty hard onto it, you know. I gotta say, like, now I set it up to is because like there's so much shit that you could put in this grow, dog. You can have it up to here with crazy technology, or you could have it down here to the basics. Whatever you feel is in your reach, or, you know, because two people are never gonna have the same grow. Me and you, we are never gonna have the same grow. There's so many different fucking variables. I have room, you don't have room. The temperatures are off, blah blah blah. You know, there's just so much crazy shit, man. But it is a beautiful fucking plant. Brings us all together, and that's why we're here doing this. We're here doing this so that we can get all the people that are in your state that see this, that are like, oh man, Growshack Kev's from my state, and look at him, he's doing it, you know, why don't I do it? They start doing it. And that's why we are influencers. We're fucking weedfluencers like a motherfucker.
It is. We advocates. We're definitely advocates. And not only is anybody that gets on here and speaks, we got to be careful too, because not only are we advocates, we advocating and pushing for this, we also ambassadors of it.
Yes.
So when people see us, when they see our community, even our chats, that's gonna be a huge part of what they see as a whole. So we just got to be careful, you know what I mean, with like we spread the message of love out here, you know what I mean? Look out, help one another, you know what I mean? Don't drag nobody down, don't gatekeep the info, because all that it speaks to us as a whole. And as a cannabis community as a whole, you can't find a better group of people. You really can't.
I think we're the best people out there, man. It's gonna be a good fucking
Most
time out there.
definitely.
Once we can all just grow as much, come together as much as we want, not have to trip about, you know, some states hating, some states not, fucking Texas, Pennsylvania. Where did you say you were at?
I'm in Indiana.
Indiana, which is crazy. Like you said, there's so many states around Indiana that is fucking legal. Like it's like over here, we got the way Montana just legalized. So the only one around us that isn't legal is Idaho. And Idaho's like holding out for dear life because they're part of those, you know, brainwashed motherfuckers over there. They're like, no, right. You can't have cannabis. It's gonna bring problems.
You know, it's crazy because they looking around. They looking at these states like Illinois was yanking over 20 million. You know what I mean? Like this was in monthly sales at one point in time for recreational sales. Like how long are they willing to just sit and look at that? You know what I mean? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
It doesn't, man.
But so what you got going on in your tent right now? You got anything growing?
Well, as for me, I was about to shut it down because I was gonna take a little. I had gotten the russet mites, and so I was dealing with that, and I was like, you know what, man? I've been growing for fucking five years straight. Everything like I have a perpetual grow, so it's just always something going on, and I've been doing it for fucking 5 years straight. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. I'm shutting everything down. I got rusted mites. I'm just gonna clean everything down and leave it. And then of course my homie gets a hold of me and he's like, hey, I got some clones that I need you to take over. And I was like, he's like, come on, man. I'm going out of town. I don't want these genetics to die off. I need you to take it. And I'm like, all right, bro, for you, I'll take it. And then I get them cloned out and I get them ready. And I'm like, hey, man, you ready for your clones? And he's like, nah, I thought you were going to grow them out. I was like, what? I was like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to give it back to you because I said I was done. But fuck, man, it's like a gang, man. They keep calling you back. The plants keep calling me back. So right now I got Joker's Candy and I think Lemon Berry is what I got going on right now. Now I've never tasted these ones and I don't know the genetics. I don't know where they're from. It's just the homie gave me a cut and he usually has pretty fire. So I'm like, shout out Raiders Garden. He has fire most of the time, all the time. So I was like, you know, let's see what I can do with it, right? And I got the Blue Mat system connected to them, so I could actually leave to Hawaii and they'll be fine. So it's going to be a good one. So I wanted to ask you, do you use bud trainers? Because you train the shit out of your plants. They're very like this, just trained. Are you using bud trainers or are you just clipping them down?
No, all of my plants, they're all hand trained out like that.
Hand trained. You training like a motherfucker. You training like a marathon out there.
It takes I probably spend anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes per day just on if it's a really heavy train like a main line. Like I got a big main line right now that's about 3 foot across and it's just a big 3 foot circle in a 3 gallon, and I probably spend 15 to 20 minutes a day on that every day for probably 3 weeks to get the shape of it that I wanted. And a lot of times I'll bring them out and then I'll even drop them down even lower again a second time. And all I do is I use stakes at first. I'll stake them down and I start training at about day 15 from seed. I start training very early. I'll top and then I'll tie everything or stake them down. But once it hits towards the edge of the bucket, I'll take a drill and I'll drill a hole about every 2 inches all the way around the top of my bucket. And I take garden wire and I'll run it through the hole and tie it, twist it. And then I'll just pull the branches down and tuck them like that. And then as the branch gets longer, I just continue to move it out.
Okay, because I saw the holes on your buckets and I thought that was for like aeration or something. But it's to tighten down. Okay. All
Yep,
right.
that's where I put that. That's where I put the ties, because a lot of the times, if you're using stakes or the bud trainers, the bud trainer clips, they don't really they'll pop off, or they'll break. You know, if the branch gets too thick. And so
because your branches
I
are
did one.
fucking thick, bro. Your branches are
Yeah.
mad thick. Like, damn.
Yes.
They look fucking very healthy.
And that's why I haven't really been big on using the bud trainers again, because of that reason, because they pop off, and I still do more training to them afterwards. So because I still train them so much after it's popping those off, I typically just try to use the wires and pull it down as much as I can. But like the mainline technique, that form of training, that's probably my favorite route to go. The one I've had the most success with. It does take a lot of time and a lot of patience to shape your plant like that. But at the end of the day, by having the branch just laid completely flat, because most of my plants are dead, they're level with the soil, you know, parallel completely. So I try to bend every branch like that. It saves me a lot of space. Like my plants, when they finish, they may only be 18 inches to 2 feet tall out of the soil, from the soil top of the bucket up. But because the way they're laid down, you know, you get the bud to go all the way down and curve. You get I get a one solid coal on all of them. It eliminates all the boof out of it, so I ain't got to worry about nothing airy. Uh, One thing I'm learning to do is to not quite. I was having a problem for a while where I was getting my fade really early in flower, like too early. Like I didn't like yellowing out, you know, at week 5. You know, I didn't, because you can't really do a lot to it then. So but what I was doing is I was going a little bit too light on. I was going really light on my feeding immediately after flipping into flower, where now I found if I go a little bit actually heavier during my first week 1 and week 2 of flower, then it helps me out a lot more, and it's got a lot more stored up nutrients for the plant to use throughout the life of it. So I I'm synganic. I do a little bit of both, because I think that's more or less for just to account for my personal error right now, because I am new to organics, and because you got the time, it takes time for it to break down. You know, I don't want to have a situation where I mess up, or I don't figure it right, and then my plants is starving. They're gonna, you know, be puny and sick before I'm able to, before it's able to break down and give them what they need. So I'm running the Hygrozyme line, Part A and Part B nutrient, and their benefit Hygroben and their enzymes as well right now. Everything seems to be coming along pretty good with that. It's the first time that they've released that line for a nutrient. They've had the enzymes and the beneficial microbes.
But this is the first base that they came out with?
Yes, it was. I believe it was October 1st, maybe it came out. I think is when they started selling it. But I've had really good luck with it. So everything stayed really nice color, good dark lush green colors. Seeing good rigorous growth. I guess I upgraded to this 6x6 space I got now from a 3x3, and I'm so glad I did, because it not only just because I can grow more, but because the environment is a lot easier to control. My humidity and things like that. I was worried about that at first. So I was like, well, it might be a little hard to control it, but it's definitely not. The bigger spaces, I've had a lot more success in keeping my environment dialed in exactly where I want it. I try to like right now, I've got the lights up to like 80%. I'm on week 14 or day 14 of flower, so it's just now starting into getting ready to be on week 3. I'm happy to have them running. It's got some stuff from Kev in there. Lola Psychosis.
I had a question about your IPM regimen, because I noticed that you're using companion plants for your IPM, right? Now, how does that work?
Yes, sir.
How good does that work? Do you still need to spray, or are you just relying on companion?
I haven't had to spray anything since I started doing the companion planting. I usually got some mums in here as well. I use marigolds, and what they do is they're a repellent. Like they're gonna repel all the bug, any kind of white flies, aphids, root aphids, springtails, things like that. They're repellents. So what I'll do is, you got three classes. You got the repellents, you have attractants, and then some like the mums they produce an insecticide themselves, pyrethrins, which is what is that's the active ingredient in your spray, insecticides and things like that. So for it to produce it naturally, and it's a safer way for the plant, to at least have that benefit of IPM there. And the way you do it is it has a lot to do with the placement of those plants. Like if you take my marigolds, for example, they're the repellents. I plant them in containers, put them as close to my medicinal plants as I can get. I'm gonna put them right up on top of them, next to them, and then on the middle layer, I just create like a perimeter where the inside is the marigold, the middle layer is gonna be the repellent or the attractant that pulls the bugs towards them, and then on the outside I'll have the mums. And this way you got a barrier where it'll kill them. If they land on the plant coming in, it's gonna kill them. The bugs coming in that way. And it's gonna be a very annoying smell, you know what I'm saying, bothersome to any bugs that get past that first one, because you got the repellent on the inside and the attractant. If you do get any that come inside, you still got the attractant on the outside that'll help pull them back there. Because in the attractants, it's just the plants that the bugs naturally are going to gravitate towards before they go on any other plant. And then the marigolds, because it pushes them out, I just keep them right up on it. So it's like a 3-layer system. You want to do it, plant it in succession or plant them at the same time as you are your other plants, so they can grow up through the life cycle throughout it. And I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any mites. I started companion planting about 7 years ago, and I definitely have great success when I use the mums and the marigolds. But even with just the marigolds, I find that I don't really have too much problems with any of the fungus gnats and things like that. I do try to take preventative measures. I use, like for a swimming pool, they have like a filter that you put sand in, and you buy this special like a bag of sand for the sand filter. I will take that, and I'll put about 2 inches of that on the top of my soil.
Really?
And the reason I do that is because if you ever seen that sand, it's got little slivers of glass in it, like kind of like diatomaceous earth looks.
Diatomaceous
that
earth.
pool filter sand has little pieces of glass all through it, and it'll kill any soft body bugs, anything like that. And the larva takes care of them. So I do that as a preventative measure.
Nice.
But I haven't had to spray anything.
Hey, okay, so I don't know if you've seen in my post, but I want to give a shout out or a heads up for anybody out there using diatomaceous earth. Do not get it on your eyes, okay? I woke up one day and I was almost blind in one eye, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and it was because I got diatomaceous earth on my cat, and my cat got it on my face, and I got it in my eye, and it was a very, very scary situation, folks. So for anybody out there, make sure not to get diatomaceous earth on your eye. Be careful because it dries out. That's what it does. It dries things out. And so, yeah, be careful with that one. Even though you're talking about sand, you're not talking about diatomaceous earth, but still, I don't need to let that get out there.
You got to be careful. That's for sure. I did that the other day. I was opening a new bottle. It was a brand new bottle of some nutrients, and it had the little foil wrapper on it. Well, I couldn't get my finger up on it, so I popped it with my nail, but it popped on me, just bloop. It caught me right in the eye, lit me up. Well, had me burning for about 2 hours.
Oh shit, man! You gotta be careful with this stuff, man. You gotta kind of be a little bit of a chemist too when you're growing cannabis, because it's a little bit of there's chemicals and stuff that you don't want. What's good for plants is not always good for humans. So actually,
that's a fact.
I like to say that plants are the opposite of humans because they like nitrogen. Nitrogen can hurt us. Calcium, too much calcium will get into our bones, could fuck us up. Like they like CO2, which CO2 will kill us. Like basically anything that plants love, humans don't like. So as we're the opposite of plants, which I think this planet was made for plants and not us. But that's me. That's all my little trip thing. But anyways, let's talk about the Trim Daddy, pimp. The Trim Daddy. The whole reason why most viewers are coming in here to come check out. If you didn't know, we're doing a giveaway this episode of CannaConvos. We're giving away the Trim Daddy trimmers. Now, do you have a picture of them or anything? Because I'll put a picture up here so that everybody can see what it looks like. But they are automatic trimmers that have the blades that go like this, and it just cuts for you. So all you got to do is just ride with the bud. Just ride it. Which a wet trim is the best way I've seen to use them. Have you ever seen them used with dry trim?
Yes, I have. I've seen it, but it actually comes with it's got 3 sets of blades to it. It's got 2 dry trim blades, and it's got a wet trim blade as well. But yeah, to me it's an amazing product, man. Especially if you got multiple tents, it's a must have. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It will not damage. It won't damage anything. It's got it's basically got like a small guard on the very front of the blade where you can switch it up. You can adjust the blade speed to its variable speed. You can change how fast or how slow your cutting blade is. But yeah, it doesn't give you any damage to the buds. It's just saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of wrist work. You ain't got to worry about getting everything off. You know, just a quick dip. You know, after each plant, between each plant, I dip it in a little bit of alcohol or some peroxide and wipe it. But other than that, the blades stay good and sharp. They don't wear out. You know what I mean? And whenever they get it, whoever wins it's coming. It'll have a warranty paper with it, so you can call and just register the Trim Daddy whenever after I ship it out to them, and they can have that registered.
Sick, man. Hell yeah. And Angie High in Paradise on Instagram, I'll put her tag up here. She uses them, so you can go back into her page and go check them out. Pitches 420 was using some too back in the day when they first came out. They had sent Pitches 420 a pair, and that's how I had heard of them to begin with. I always knew that they were out there, and I was like, oh man, that's fucking so cool, because I was all about that back in the day. Back in the day, hand trim was what I always wanted to do, because hand trim the buds do come out better. But one thing that hand trimming sucks at is your hands. Your hands will give out, dude. My wrists gave out from hand trimming and playing video games, and now I'm just like, I can't do anything with my wrists. So for those who want a little bit more ergonomic, I think the word is ergonomic, yeah. Trimming is what the Trim Daddies are here for. So make sure to be in the chat when we premiere this episode. Whoever wins will be at the end. We'll shout it out. Growshack Kev will get those out to you. And, hopefully you guys post. Make sure to tag everything that you do with us. Tag us both when you get them so you can show off the product, and we will repost and get it out there and, spread the word on those, man. I wanted to say thank you so much for providing those. I kind of want to throw in some beans too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing too. It's gonna be a little bit. Yeah, same here. It's gonna be another mystery pack.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing some too.
We can run that however you want.
Yeah, I got hella too.
I'll do a 5-pack or something, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. We'll probably do that, most likely. Now, I wanted to talk about we went over the feeds, we went over your buckets, we went over the marigolds, right? The 72 hours of darkness before flower. I saw that you were doing that.
Sir.
What is your theory on that? How does it work? Do you have good results? A bunch of questions.
Okay, the way I understand it, and there was it's an old grower that told me about this. Just an old hippie, you know what I mean? Just been doing this for years, and he said when you flip into flower, if you want to hurry up and accelerate your pistol production, and so you can get them nice clusters really quick, he said when you the day you want to flip it to flower, he said you hit it for 3 days, 48 hours to 72 hours. He said leave it in complete darkness for 48 to 72 hours. And he said had always done it, so I decided I was gonna try it, and I did it. I wasn't too much really on putting out too many videos then. I didn't really have too much thought process of when I was doing it, but I did a side by side on it. And after I opened the tent, after that 72 hours, it had pistols. I mean, it wasn't just small little strays. It was a full head of pistols buds forming on every
3
one.
days?
So
That's
72
crazy.
hours
For those who don't know,
for
those who don't know, it usually takes at least a week, almost 2
at least
weeks
7
before
to
you
10
get
days.
pistils. Yeah, it's 7 to 10 days before you'll get
Yes.
a sign of a pistol. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to try that one.
I've done it on 3 plants. I've done it on 3 different plants now. And
crazy.
every single time the plants they weren't sick, they weren't, real unhealthy. I just made sure I had them watered them good the day before I did it. And but all 3 times has it's knocked probably 5 days off of the transition into flower.
Okay.
Now I can't tell you there's science behind this to back this up. I could just tell you my own personal experience. But I wouldn't be sharing that one if I didn't know it. Because the first time I did it, blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Because I said the same thing. I was like, it should be 7 to 10 days before I see the first sign of little one, small pistols hitting. And every single time for 3 plants now that I've done it to, it's worked perfect.
Man, I'm gonna have to try that one. Okay, hell yeah.
All right, brother. And it didn't slow down any growth or anything like that. Didn't add to my flowering time. Just picked right back up 12 and 12 after that.
Went about it, and you got a successful grow. Okay. My next question is: do you have any tips for the new growers? What's something that you wanted to tell them for the people who are out here who haven't started, who are about to start, who are a little weary about starting? Do you have anything that words of encouragement that you wanted to tell them?
Oh, for sure. One of the biggest and foremost things I think is don't overthink this too much. At the end of the day, remember that this thing is a plant. You know what I mean? And it does its own thing in nature without us, whether we got a hand on the plant, whether we train it, whether we watering it or letting, whatever happens to fall, take care of it on that. If we can remember that part first, it'll help us to know that we can stay out the way of the plant, and everything is not on our shoulders to make this as successful, as possible. A lot of it is just going to be your genetics, and knowing that plant can do its purpose is in life. It's going to do. It's going to come to completion regardless. Not to overthink it. Don't overwater your seedlings. Is a big one, because I had to get a spray bottle. I had to buy a squirt bottle because of anything other than that, I know I'm susceptible to stunt every plant I got. I probably had no clue how many plants I was stunting, every grow, just because of overwatering my seedling. Because they can't really take that water in out the soil anyways at first. Them little tap roots, 90% of what they take in is going to be absorption through the leaves and through the stomata. So, a nice, just a good spray, and a lot of time they just coat the top, and it's a good. Take care of you on that. But yeah, mainly just like I said, don't overwater, man. It's really easy, and don't overthink this too much. It don't take 100 different bottles of nutrients. You don't have to have that. This can be as basic and as cheap as you want it to be, or it can be as extravagant and expensive as you want it to be. But you can achieve the same quality and results at either end of the spectrum. That's for sure.
Beautiful, beautifully
said. Put good
man.
energy into your plant. Put good energy out there. When you go into your room, when you around your plants, as crazy as it sounds, don't take the stress of your day into your tent with you. You know what I mean?
Try not to.
Wipe your feet at the door with it, shake them off, because your energy is felt. Energy don't diminish, it's transferred. And so we feel their energy, they feel our energy. I feel the plant got the ability to bring happiness and joy to me, and then we got the ability to bring it some kind of sensation as well. So they did a study where they were monitoring the calcium within the plant cell structure itself, and when you touch the leaves of the plant, the calcium will light up inside of that plant. You know, so these are sentient beings. You know what I mean? They recognize. You know, I'm not gonna say miss, but they do. They know our presence, obviously, from when it's not around. So
yeah, they know that we're
take that
taking
good
care of
energy
them.
into your tents.
Nice. Hell yeah, brother. Congratulations. Thank you so much for coming on. That was the last question. You killed it. Good job, brother.
Man, I appreciate you. Yeah, like I said, first time I'm doing an interview, but man, I just feel like somebody because anytime you hear for prohibition, it's always mashed up, covered up, voice muffled, and then we tired of that here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just want to be a face for the nation for everybody like me that won't say nothing. They ain't got to. I see it for them.
Hell yeah, Indiana, be on the lookout for Kev, man, because when it does become legal, this man right here, he's gonna be already started, ready to go. He's gonna be like, bam, I've been on CannaConvos. I know what to do on this bitch.
Right. Y'all gonna be seeing me. Hopefully we'll be able to catch you at some events out here soon. I'm gonna be checking out. I'm going to the Dude Grows here this year. I'm gonna head out there and see what's going on. So who knows?
Man,
Maybe we can work something out.
Most definitely, brother. We'll stay in touch. And if I ever come across anybody out there, you guys hit me up. Let me know where all these destinations are, man. I'm trying to make the rounds lately. Nowadays, I'm trying to get, before I have to go work in the welding, I want to get all this shit out as much as possible. And, you know, go fucking meet up with everybody and do all this shit. Because, you know, once I get into welding, it's going to be fun.
That's a nice gig.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm trying to get into it. I need to make some real money, man. And stop fucking around in the kitchen and get some real money. Is there any sponsors or anybody that you wanted to plug?
The Trim Daddy, you know what I mean? They sponsor me. They look out for me decent. I also got an affiliate with. I'm an affiliate for Herbie Seeds. If anybody mess with Herbie Seeds, if you got any experience with them, they got reasonable prices. If you look for reasonable prices and good genetics, you know, I ain't never gonna claim nothing's the greatest because it's not. I've grown it, but they are decent, and you won't be disappointed with nothing for the price that you pay for it.
Good.
Check out Growshack Kev on Instagram. Be on the lookout. I ain't gonna do nothing but get bigger and better. We going up from here, baby.
That's it, baby. All the way up to the top, man. To the top, because you know they don't stop. Shit. So yeah, man. Want to say thank you for everybody out there. Make sure to go check out Growshack Kev on all his platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I'll be putting the links on the description of the video, also in the description of the promo code, the promotion video that I make, clip that I make for Instagram. I want to thank you again, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely have you on for part 2 down the road, eh?
That's for sure. We'll announce that tomorrow. We'll announce it's tomorrow, you said?
Tomorrow, 6 p.m. on Monday, we're going to be premiering the video, and that's when it'll be in the chat. And that's where on the live chat, everybody can see you announce the winner. And then I want you to shoot me a message. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be in there chatting, but I can't stay for ever because I'm getting ready to go on my trip. So once we do that, send me the message. Let me know who the winner is so I can send them a message too. We can make the post, and we'll do everything like that. Huh? All right, man. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tapping in on the next episode of CannaConvos. We'll be here next week and all that. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. Late.
Love y'all.